Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining this program to remember our very beloved Bubuda. But this is not really a program to mourn him, but rather to celebrate his life. He had a very full life. He brought all of us together, a very fulfilling life and a very inspiring life. So this is a small memorial for him to celebrate his life, which was an inspiration to all of us. I will begin with a short prayer, which many of you know. It's an old and very revered Sanskrit prayer, the Gayatri Mantra, which I will read out which I'll recite in the original version, the Sanskrit version, and then I will give an English translation. Okay, and then we will proceed with the program. All of you, please use the chat boxes to leave your comments and suggestions. That's how we will all participate in this. We cannot have everyone, unfortunately, being able to speak because of the communications problem that we will have. So please mute all your audios, but keep your videos on, okay? So let us begin. The Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhur-Bhuvaswa Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodyatum. The English translation is: we contemplate the Supreme Creator whose divine radiance permeates all the physical, mental, and spiritual realms of this vast universe. May we immerse ourselves in this divine light until we shine in brilliance from within, like the sun itself. Okay, thank you. Now I will move to Ashoka Mukherjee Paharidi, who is the eldest in our family. So she will speak a few words in memory of Bubuda. She has known him the longest amongst all of us. So over to you, Paharidi. Arjo, over to Paharidi, please.
আজকে আমাদের অতি প্রিয় ও আপনার স্বর্গীয় বুবুদার স্মরণ সভায় আমার সব আত্মীয় স্বজনকে অনেক শুভেচ্ছা ও ভালোবাসা জানাচ্ছি। আমি পাহাড়ি অশোকা মুখার্জি, সেই সঙ্গে উদ্যোক্তা স্নেহের মিষ্টুকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি। সে অনেক পরিশ্রম করে সুন্দরভাবে সব আত্মীয় স্বজনকে আজকের এই সভায় মিলিত করেছে। Thank you all for gathering today to honor Bubuda. Our Dadu, late Rai Bahadur Satish Chandra Mukherjee, lived in 1 Southern Avenue, which became the center of the universe for our family. Bubuda spent several years in Dadu's residence as he grew up, and in later years. He was a big fan of Dadu and considered him as his role model. When I was 3, we lived together at Dadu's official quarter in Patna. I am told that I would fondly say to Bubuda, "Bubu, Bubu, jabi, jabi, paka, paka, khabi, khabi." That means aiming for the guavas on the trees in Dadu's quarter. Even in later years, several memories stand out as Bubuda, Poplu, and I spent happy days together. In the last 86 years, I have many pleasant associations with Bubuda, including Bhaipota each year. Even in Canada, I spoke to him weekly. Bubuda has close connection with our family and vacationed with us in several places where my father was posted. I have also visited his ancestral home, Devghar, and enjoyed a trip to Trikut Mountain. When my grandkids Otri and Ariana would visit from US, Bubuda would host them a delicious breakfast of Kobiraji cutlet made specially by Parish. Those were the days. Bubuda loved flowers, plants, and cacti. He was a religious man like his dedicated parents. He loved Western classical music, fine food, such as cheese, tuna, and chocolates. When Bubuda was in Vienna, he wrote to us regularly. He didn't quite fancy cooking and didn't know how to. His attempt to make paesh, rice pudding, turned into a stick job. Soup, bread, and butter soon became his best friends. If we count all his accomplishments, we would rewrite the epic Mahabharata. But epic he was, a larger-than-life personality. He started the tradition of Bengali New Year at Southern Avenue. His passing away the day before will always remind us the tradition that he started to bind us all together, to create memories as sweet as the Ampora Sharbot, baked mango juice. Today we are celebrating his life and legacy as a doctor and surgeon, a meticulous professor, a selfless individual, but above all, a true family person. He connected us all while he was living and now also in his passing. I'm happy to say that I have met everyone in this group, but Marcus, Alex, and Kojo, now I can find them here, and I'm very happy to see all others. All of us would like to thank Rekha for her dedicated care of Buddha. I'd like to end with a quote from Rabindranath Tagore. Death is not an extinguishing light. It's only putting out the lamp as dawn has come. Buddha, we know wherever you are. You are smiling at us and saying your favorite 3 words. God bless you. Thank you all. Stay well, stay safe. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much for those very, very nice words, Paharidi. You have made us recall so many pleasant days that we had with Bubuda, especially your reference to that Ampora Sharbot is something, I remember that was one of the first times we celebrated New Year, Bengali New Year here in this house. I'll never forget that. And we have tried to keep on that tradition. Bubuda brought all of us together. So it was wonderful that he brought this family, all of us together in one unit. Actually, we continued that tradition and we will continue it. Thank you, Paharidi, speaking from Calgary, Canada. Now I will please invite Sabine Banerjee Wagner, who is the closest relative of Bubuda, the niece, to say a few words. She's joining us from USA.
Thank you, Mr. Kaka. And thank you also for organizing this gathering in honor of my uncle. Bubu Kaka was a remarkable person who lived a remarkable life. He was my uncle. He was a gentle and kind person, selfless and generous, who touched many people and whose action created this outpour of sympathy and admiration. So many of you on WhatsApp pointed out that Bubu Kaka was a real family man who believed in and cultivated strong family ties. In 1963, when travel was not as common as today, and when living in another culture was really to venture into the unknown, Bubu Kaka went to Austria and Germany, not only to further his career as a surgeon, but also in search of family. In the video, which we will view shortly, Bubu Kaka recounts that he went to Europe to find his brother who had lost touch with his family back in India. My father was worried that my grandfather and grandmother would be angry that he started a life in Germany and did not plan to return to India. Thanks to Bubu Kaka, my Dida and Didu could travel to Germany and got to know my mom, Alexander, Marcus, and me. I remember when I came to Calcutta the first time, Bubu Kaka summoned Anjan and Gautam to Calcutta to babysit me. He moved out of his bedroom so that my mom and I could have his room. He and Monu Kaka bunked together in Monu Kaka's small room. Today I know this must have been tough for the two of them because he and Monu Kaka had to get up early in the morning and go to work. Throughout our stay, Bubu Kaka made sure that we did not get sick or gotten an upset stomach, and he and Monu Kaka had to put up with dull and plain food for many weeks. It was Bubu Kaka who brought us, a family scattered throughout the world, together on WhatsApp and today on Zoom. We made connections with people we have not talked to for a while, and we got to know family members that we never met. Bubu Kaka was a reliable and dutiful, without fail person, both attributes that made him such a successful and experienced doctor. How often did I discuss my medical problems with him and sought his advice because I was unsure what to do, did not know what questions to ask. I was always amazed how accurate Bubu Kaka was with his long-distance diagnosis. What high-tech such as X-ray, CT scans, and MRIs revealed, he already had diagnosed over the phone. He never would forget a birthday or an anniversary. He faithfully sent cards for every holiday. Not seldom would a Christmas card arrive in the middle of summer, but it did arrive. Due to modern technology, it was easier to keep in touch with family, and Alexander and I would call him at last once a week just to tell him we were thinking about him. We lost my father and Monu Kaka in the last few years, and my mother and Bubu Kaka recently. All these people were remarkable and are unforgettable. Bubu Kaka will be missed by family, students, patients, colleagues, friends, and especially by Reka, who so lovingly took care of him. Dear Bubu Kaka, I hope you are smiling down on us, seeing so many people here today, praying a last respect to you, my beloved uncle. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabine, for that very touching tribute to our very, very beloved Bubuda, Bubu Kaka, Bubu Jetha, and so on. It is really, really very nice. I came to know you actually through Bubu Kaka just 5 or 6 years back, and we have been in touch over WhatsApp. It's Bubuda, as we've all said, brought so many people from all over the world together to discover our relationships. And we owe that to him as in this memorial, that he did this unifying institution that he was. So now we will move on to a short video called A Fond Remembrance, which has been prepared by 2 generations of relatives of Bubuda, Abhishek Ganguly, who was his nephew, and Arju Ganguly, who was his grandnephew. So they have put this video together. We would like to thank Norman for providing that very important and interesting interview that he did with Bubuda in 2018, which has formed, in a sense, the anchor of this video. And also we would like to thank all of you who have sent photographs and memories, to which we have tried to put as many as we can into this video. Thank you very much.
I was born in Patna, Bihar. We were two brothers. My elder brother was Joydev Banerjee, myself Basudev Banerjee. We had two cousins, one sister, Anima, and the cousin brother was Mohanlal. And we were brought up by my parents all together. And I studied in Deoghar school. I started from UP school, upper primary school, then moved on to middle primary school, then the higher school. Had my matriculation from Deoghar and proceeded to Kolkata and admitted myself in Ashutosh College. I stayed at my maternal grandparents' house, where I had my education in science, and then I moved on to the medical college, R.G. Kol Medical College. And I graduated from there, and I started as a house surgeon in Cancer Hospital, Chittaranjan Cancer Hospital in Kolkata. And then after that, I started working in an industrial house in a cycle factory, and I was there for 6.5 years, stayed with the foreigners only in a company-owned foreigners hotel. So I had the opportunity to mix with the foreigners as Englishmen and Germans. So to converse with them, I had to learn German, and to perfect it, I had to learn German grammar also. So I was working there, but after 6.5 years, so then I thought that I should leave this place, and I started to have my postgraduate qualification in surgery. So all on a sudden, I could grab an advertisement that required English speaking, preferably German speaking, and that made me more easy to access on this scholarship. So I was offered scholarship by the University of Vienna, and that was in the year 1963. And they offered me the degree in orthopedic traumatic surgery. And I was a bit reluctant to accept it, but my professor asked me, beggars cannot be choosers. So you accept it, go away. So I had been to Vienna, and my professor was so kind enough that he knew my ambition to become a general surgeon also. So I worked very hard with sincerity and honesty, worked throughout the day. I did quite well in the general surgery exams and got my both the accident, orthopedic and general surgeon. And then I came back and joined somewhere else, and ultimately I joined the government ESI hospital, Employees State Insurance Scheme, where I worked for 35 years as an honorary consultant surgeon. And at the same time, I was absorbed as a postgraduate teacher in the University College of Medicine. I have to work in the capacity of an orthopedic surgeon and also a general surgeon, and I had the opportunity to run an artificial limb center and rehabilitation because I had some experience and knowledge in that when I was in Vienna. I worked in Vienna under the most legendary name of Professor Lorenz Bühler.
Bühler, yes.
Then I am continuing it for more than 49 years and I am doing my private practice nearby for at least 45 years.
Yeah. So even though you're in your late 80s, you're still working hard as an orthopedic surgeon.
I am now 88 years old. 88 years plus.
But 88 years plus, and doing well. Tell me a little bit about why you became a doctor. Why did you choose to go to medicine?
Because actually my cousin was a doctor, was studying medicine, and my uncle was a doctor, and we had been admitted to the same college as my uncle and my cousin.
Okay.
I was living with my maternal grandparents at one Southern.
Southern Avenue. Yes, and were they also living on Southern Avenue, or?
Oh yes.
Okay. What favorite things did you do growing up there? Did you have favorite things to do?
I was a great fan of football.
Okay.
I was very eager to have some athletics also. So I always captained the team.
You were captain of the team?
Always.
Okay, always.
Yes. And I represented school in the tournaments.
Tell me a little bit about your parents.
My father was a lawyer. My father was the son of my grandfather, who was legal advisor to the king of Tipara.
Oh, okay.
It was a princely state at that time. And my father had the education at Tipara, primary education.
Okay.
Then he came to Kolkata for his further education and had been admitted to Scottish Church College for his graduation, and then finally Law College, University Law College for legal.
And he learned English as a young boy already?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It was compulsory at that time.
Oh, everybody had to learn
Oh
English.
yes.
Okay.
You see, it was British colony. Colonial system was there when we were there. After that, 1947 brought us independence.
Okay. But you remember the colonial times, and you went
yes,
to the
of
school
course, very
system
much.
and everything. Okay.
Because my maternal grandfather was a very big man. He was just like a king at that time of the locality. It's called Santal Parganas.
Oh.
And it was just manned by all the Britishers.
Okay.
And he was the head of the Britishers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
And was he in favor of independence, or
Oh, yes, of course.
he was? Okay.
Because under him, all the Britishers were there, and he lived a very decent life without having any drinks or anything, alcoholic drinks or others.
I
He
see.
never ate chickens or hen's egg or like that.
Let's talk a few minutes about your time in Germany, and then I want you to tell me about how you found your brother after many years. Tell me the story. It's a wonderful story.
It's a very heart-rending story. When I found out my brother there, and he received me with a very warm heart and embraced me, and he wept that he lost contact with us. So he was very grateful to me that I made the contact, and I was so much affectionately accommodated by my Bodhi and Dada. So I can never forget that in my life.
Tell me what you did then to bring the family back together.
Yes, after I came back, so I insisted my parents to have a meeting with them. So ultimately I was successful in sending them to his place, and they enjoyed their stay for more than 2.5 months.
And that was the first visit. Right?
And then Dada and Bodhi came to India in the year 1980.
Tell me the story of Mono.
Monu was my 1.5 year older than me. Monu and
Onima.
his sister, they both lost their mother when Monu was 9-year-old and Onima was 3-year-old. So my parents accommodated them at that time till my cousin sister Onima was married from our place they were, and Monu Chorda, as I called him, he had his primary education from Deoghar. Then we came to Kolkata for our further education. And Chorda was staying with my maternal aunt. I was staying with my paternal grandparents. Very close by. We used to meet daily in the evening.
Now he had a good sense of humor.
Oh yes.
And you guys shared this apartment for how many years together?
40 years.
40 years, yeah. He was a wonderful person, and I just remember he was very
He was just an umbrella to me.
Yeah.
উনি সকালবেলা উঠতেন 5টার সময় উঠে প্রথমে বাথরুম যেতেন, তারপরে নিজের হাতে সমস্ত কাজ করতেন, বাথরুম ধোয়া, পরিষ্কার করা, গাছে জল দেয়া। তারপরে উনি আসতেন ঘরে, এসে একটু পেপারটা দেখে নিয়ে গীতা পড়তেন। তারপরে ওনার নিত্যদিনের কাজ ছিল দাড়ি কামানো, সেটা করে নিয়ে তারপরে উনি ওই 10টা গুনে ছোলা একটু আদা খেতেন। তারপরে যেতেন ইউনিভার্সিটিতে, 11টা 15তে বেরোতেন। এখান থেকে উনি মামার বাড়ি যেতেন। ইদানিং উঠতে ওনার পায়ে ভীষণ কষ্ট হতো, তাও উনি সবার সাথে দেখা করতেন। এমন কেউ নেই যে উনি প্রত্যেককে নক করে গেছেন, এমন কেউ নেই যে উনি ওনার খবর রাখেননি। যখন নিজে পারেননি তখন ফোনে ফোনে সবার খবর রেখেছেন, সবার সাথে যোগাযোগ রাখতেন। উনি খেতে ভালোবাসতেন ভীষণ, সেটা হচ্ছে চপ, কাটলেট, বাকি ওনার খাওয়া সব মাপার মধ্যে। কোল্ড ড্রিঙ্কস ভীষণ ভালোবাসতেন। গান তো ওনার প্রিয় ছিল, বাড়ি ভর্তি বাজনা। উনি যখন অবসর সময় মাঝে মাঝে গান শুনতেন, বিদেশি বাজনা শুনতেন, সেইগুলো ইদানিং আর পড়া হয়নি।
ধাই যেন মোর সকল ভালোবাসা, প্রভু তোমার পানে, তোমার পানে, তোমার পানে যাই যেন মোর সকল গভীর আশা, প্রভু তোমার।
সবাই ওনাকে বলতেন যে বিয়ে করনি, দেখবে কে। ওনার দৃঢ় বিশ্বাস, সবসময় সবাইকে বলতো দেখনেওয়ালা একজনই, তিনি হলেন ভগবান। ওনার ওপরে বিশ্বাস কখনো হারাবে না, সবাইকে এই কথাই বলতেন।
ধাই যেন মোর সকল ভালোবাসা, প্রভু তোমার পানে, তোমার পানে, তোমার পানে।
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Arjo, and thank you, Norman, for that wonderful video. We will now end with Rabindranath Tagore's very famous song, Aguner Poroshmoni, while we play that, I'll request you to light your candles and put them up. And then you can see each other in the gallery view. Please use that view, you can see everyone. The song asks us to keep the flame of purity, service, and selflessness alive in all our lives. It represents everything, the mission that Buddha lived for.
আগুনের পরশমণি ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো, এ জীবন পূর্ণ করো দহন দানে। আগুনের পরশমণি ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে। আমার দেহ খানি তুলে ধরো, তোমার দেবালয়ের প্রদীপ করো, নিশিদিন আলোক শিখা জ্বলুক গানে, নিশিদিন আলোক শিখা জ্বলুক গানে। আগুনের পরশমণি ছোঁয়াও প্রাণে।
Okay, we will now end this program. For doing so, let me remind you about what Buddha is to always say. I'm sure he said it to all of you whenever he ended a conversation. He would say, "May God bless you and keep smiling." So that is what we all must do. Let us celebrate his life. Let us live as he wanted us to live. Let us all keep smiling. Goodbye and thank you.